Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to create the Dino Chrome game, but in Scratch. Let's begin. First of all, we want to create a new sprite and name it Dino. Make sure it is at X position 0, Y position 0. Now go on Google and search up No Internet Game Dino, and then save an image of the dinosaur and import it into your Scratch project. You can upload your dino into your Scratch game by going over here and clicking Upload Costume. Once you have the dino into your game, make sure to search up the ground of the game. Search up Dino Chrome Game Ground, and then also include that in your game. At this point in your game, you now should have two sprites, the dino and the ground. Now we are ready to start with the foundational coding. Now, make sure you're in the Dino sprite and go into Events and code when green flag clicked. Then, move your Dino and put it kind of in the bottom left corner on the ground. Now look at the X and Y position and go into Motion and drag this block under the one green flag clicked. Also, make sure to go into the Looks category and get a Show, go to Front Layer block. Now we're going to work on making the Dino jump, but before we do that, we have to make two variables. We're going to need to make a variable called xval and a variable called yval. Now in the Dino sprite, we're going to want to code when green flag clicked, forever, set xval, and then we're going to go into the operations and get the divided by block. And then we put in the xval input and divide it by 0.9. Now in motion, we're going to get the change x by, and then we're going to input the xval. Now we're going to get the if touching ground change y by 1, and duplicate this 4 times. On the last time you duplicate it though, you're actually going to change the 1 to be -4. Now, right under the change y by -4, we're going to go and get a motion block, change x by, then we're going to get the divided by block, xval -1. Then we're going to get an if else, and we're going to code key up arrow pressed. Then we get another if else, xval is greater than 0. Then set xval to -10. Then we're going to set xval to 10 in the else section. And right underneath that, set yval to 15. And then else, we just set xval to 0. Now, underneath all this code, we're going to want to get another if-then-else block. And then in this open input right here, we're going to want to get if touching ground. Then, we're going to change yval by -0.5. Then in the else section, we're going to change yval by -1. Underneath this, we're going to go into motion and get a change y by block. And then in variables, insert the yval into the open input. Now we're going to code if touching ground, then we're going to change y, then we're going to get the divided by block and the minus block. We're going to change y by yvel, divided by 2. So change y by minus yvel divided by 2. And we're going to set yvel to 0. Now underneath this, we're going to change y by minus 1. And we're going to code again, if touching ground, and key up arrow pressed. Then we're going to set yvel to 17. You can play around with this number. Then we're going to change y by 1. Before you test it out, I realized I made a mistake. I'm really sorry, but right here, you're actually gonna want to change this. You're gonna make the divided block go right there, and then put the yvel there, and put it back into the change y by 1. Now, when you test this out, look at this. Our character jumps straight up and does not sink through the ground. This is exactly what we want to replicate the Dino game. The next step we're going to do is add cactuses to our game. So just search up Google Dinosaur Game Cactus and insert it into your game. Now we should have 3 sprites, the dino, the ground, and a cactus sprite. The first thing we're going to want to do is go into the cactus costumes, and then we're going to make sure we have 3 costumes. One costume will have 1 cactus, then we're going to duplicate it and make this costume have 2 cactuses. Then our last costume will have 3 cactuses. Make sure to change the sizes of them though, so we can still jump over all of them. Now we can start coding the cactuses. So first of all, what we actually want to do is just position it really far in the corner, because this is the way the cactuses are going to come across the screen to try and get our character. So now we're going to code when green flag clicked, hide, and then we're going to say go to this X and Y position. So X 248, Y minus 48. It may be different for you. Now what we're going to do is code switch costume to pick random 1 to 3. So this means that we are either going to have 1 cactus, the double cactus, or the triple cactus come out and try and get our character. Next, we're going to go and get a wait block. And we're going to say wait pick random 0.5 to 1 seconds. Then we're going to show the cactuses in the corner. Show, go to front layer, and now we're going to go into control and get a repeat 60. You can choose whichever number you want. Repeat 60, change x by minus 10. If you were to change x by minus 5, you'd probably have to make this number about 120. Because this is the number of how many times you have to change x by minus 10 till it'll get to this corner. So if you're changing x by minus 5, the cactuses will be flowing a lot slower. Minus 10 makes the cactuses flow a lot faster. Then, after it reaches the corner, you need to hide the cactuses. We are also going to need to put a forever block around all this so this happens throughout the game. Now we can test it out. When they reach the corner, it looks a little bit choppy. They do not hide right away. So we can play around with this number. So I'm going to stop the project and change the number to be 55, and let's see what happens here. That looks a lot more smooth. Maybe 53. I'm going to go 50, because you want to get a number that all the cactuses look smooth with. Alright, 50 looks really good. The next thing we want to code is when the dino touches the cactuses, that the game will stop, and then a restart option will show up. So in order to do this, we can simply code when green flag clicked, forever, if touching dino, then broadcast stop project. And then when I receive stop project, then we're gonna go into control and get stop other scripts in this sprite. Then for the dino, we're gonna go into here and code when I receive stop project, then stop other scripts in this sprite as well. So here we go. Let's test this out. I hopped over, now I hit it, and look, the game stops. Now we're gonna make there be a restart option. So when you die in the dino game, there's a button that says restart, and then there's text above that that says game over. So I'm gonna make a new sprite, get some text, make it in the pixel font, and say game over. Then I'm gonna turn it into a grayish color. I'm also gonna add a bit of an outline to it. Alright, so now I'm just gonna code when green flag clicked, hide, go to back layer, then when I receive stop project, show, go to front layer. So let's just test this out quickly. There I die, and look at this. Now we just gotta get the restart button right here. Now I'm gonna make another new sprite. I'm gonna call it restart. And I'm just gonna design a restart button similar to the one in the dino game. So once you have your restart button design done, you want to go and position it to be right underneath the game over text. So we're just gonna code when green flag clicked, hide, then go to that position, the X and Y position. Then we're gonna code when I receive stop project, show, go to front layer. So now let's test this out. This looks really good. Now in the restart sprite, we are going to code when this sprite clicked, broadcast reset project. Then we're going to code when I receive reset project, then we're just going to duplicate this right here and put it underneath there. Then when I receive reset project, we're gonna also do all this again. You basically duplicate every single thing that has a one green flag clicked, but also bring the when I receive block above it. Alright, and now on the cactus sprite, we're gonna also do duplicate this, replace the one green flag clicked with a when I receive reset project, duplicate this with a when I receive reset project. Then one more thing in here. When I receive reset project, we're gonna hide that. There, so let's test this out now. There, we die. Reset. Look at that! We have a nice game. Aye, the cycle continues. The next thing we're gonna do is go into the Dino sprite and make a variable. Our variable will be called timer. When you right click on your variable, you can change the layout of your variable. So I'm gonna make it the large readout and move it to the right hand corner. Now I'm gonna code when green flag clicked, forever, change timer by 0.1. And then we're gonna set timer to 0 when green flag is clicked. So now if we test this out, we got a nice timer. There's one last thing we need to code with the timer. We need the timer to stop when we die and reset to 0 and start counting up again when we restart. Because we already have this bit of code in our script, when I receive stop project, stop other scripts in this sprite, this stops the timer as soon as we die, but we need to restart the timer when we start over again and set it back to 0. So all we're going to do is duplicate this again, remove it from when the green flag clicked, and then we're going to go and get when I receive reset project and connect it right there. Now we test it out, the timer's on, we die, it stops, we reset, the timer starts counting again. Something else we have to do to make the game come more to life is make the ground scroll. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So first, go and get when green flag clicked, then show. Then I'm going to go to X and go to Y position block. So just whatever this X and Y position is. Then forever, create clone of myself. Then wait 1.5 seconds. Then hide. Then we're gonna code when I start as clone. Then we're gonna go to X about 450, and we're gonna keep the Y position the same. Then we're gonna show it and make it go to front layer. Repeat 100 times. Change X by -8. And then we're gonna delete the clone. So now what else we're gonna have to do is code when I receive reset project, and we're gonna duplicate this. Then when I receive stop project, then we're gonna stop other scripts in this sprite. So the ground will stop moving when we die. Alright, let's test this out. Look at this, we got a ground that scrolls. We die, the ground stops. We restart, the ground starts again. Look at this, the game looks like it's coming to life now. The last thing I want to show you guys how to do in this video is how to add a high score. So let's go into variables and make a variable. We're going to call the variable Highscore. Make sure to select cloud variable. Now I'm going to move it beside the timer. And now I'm going to code when green flag clicked, forever, if, then go into operators, timer is greater than Highscore, then set Highscore to timer. You're also going to have to duplicate this, remove the green flag, and then put in this block when I receive reset project. Now let's test it out. Look at this, we die, our high score is 6.2. Now let's beat 6.2. Now the high score is currently 14.3. There we go, we got a nice working high score. Well guys, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope I helped you figure out how to create a Dino Chrome game in Scratch. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're encouraged to, please make sure to also drop down a little super thanks. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.
Bye.